It's RKA coming at you live today. Once again, Wednesday's our time. Wednesday's becoming our moment together. I think this is it. Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. It feels good. And so I'm going to keep it going. And I'm excited to be here again today talking to you about marketing, about websites, and the name of the game today is the 3 things you should invest in before hiring a web designer, before redesigning your own website. Where are you going to get the biggest bang for your buck? And that's what I'm talking about today. Add this to the list of things you don't expect a web designer to tell you, because I'm literally saying, no, wait, don't hire me, do this first, you will get, it's going to bring you more results. And so that's what I'm talking about today. The 3 things that I, as a web designer, recommend that you invest in before hiring someone like me or before doing it yourself. Because, I say this all the time. I am a huge proponent of DIYing your first few websites as a small business owner. So many benefits to that. And I'll talk about that in a future live. I'll go into all the details of that in a future live. But today, we're talking about what to invest in before the web designer and why. And so let's just jump right in. Let's just jump right in. It's so common that business owners will come to me. They've got a big idea. They've got their new idea and they're excited, they're ready to roll. And so they'll come to me right when they get that idea, because the first thing that they think is, okay, I need a website. Well, of course, I've got this idea. I've got to roll it out. I need a website. I'm going to call RKA. Let's get her done. And actually, a lot of the time when people come to me in that state, I'm just going to gently turn them right back around and say, well, here's where I would recommend you go instead. Here's where you're going to get. Here are the things that if you invest in these things before doing the redesign, your website and your online presence are going to be more effective, are going to help you reach your goals more. And that's why I do turn people away, and say, all right, I think a new website might be in your future. But today, I recommend that you do these 3 things first. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you my favorite thing, and this is what I always ask when I'm doing discovery calls, when I'm getting to know a client to see if we might be a good fit for working together on their website and their online presence. One of the first questions I'm asking them is, do you have photos? This is a big one, folks. So number 1 on this list of the 3 best things to invest in before you hire a web designer is going to be photographer all the way. And I recommend not skimping here. Everybody's got, a cousin or a friend that does photography. And if they're a professional photographer, yes, I would definitely recommend seeing if you can, seeing if you can strike a deal there, or, just pay them full price, because damn it, they deserve it. But everybody's got a friend that might take their photos for them, but I recommend highly going the professional route. And one really great thing about photography is that if you've got really outstanding professional photography, that's going to help you actually be able to do it yourself with things like your website, with things like your marketing materials, because fantastic photos can go a long way in terms of creating a really high quality professional look for your brand. So, hey, Tiffany, I see Tiffany's here. Nice to see you, girl. So photos all day, every day, talking about photos, gotta have photos. A couple of months ago, a copywriter that I work with, Natalie Taylor, the Missing Ink, she gave me a compliment that I really appreciated. She's like, I'm just wondering, how do all of your clients have such great photos? What's the secret? And honestly, I wish I could be like, well, the secret is I took them, but that would be a lie. I did not take my clients' photos for them. In my next life, I'm going to be a photographer. I just love photography, but wasn't me. But the answer to that question is because I highly recommend it from day one. Before we even before we even enter into a client relationship, I am emphasizing the importance of photos and why my clients need professional photos. And when we start the process, we're reminding them, okay, got to go get those new photos, got to get those professional photos. Highly recommend. And here's the thing, you're going to use your photos everywhere. You're not just going to use your photography on your website. You're going to use your photos on your business cards. You're going to use your photos if you get any sort of media. Let's just say you're a guest on someone's podcast or TV show. Let's say you're going to put your photo on the back of your best-selling book. You're going to put your photo on posters, to advertise your live events. You're going to put your photos everywhere. And so you really will get a lot. You'll be able to stretch the value of fantastic photos for years to come. And as I said before, if you've got some stellar photos with a cute Squarespace template or WordPress template, you can throw some of those photos in there, choose a clean, minimalist design, and you can DIY your website with some pretty photos. That's the truth. One of my biggest pet peeves, oh my goodness, is when I see clients doing like the car selfie as like their professional shots. They're like, hey, it's just me being professional in my Honda. Like, do not do this, guys. It doesn't send, unless you are like, hey, I'm the car coach. That's your thing. If you're like the car, like on the go, in your car, driving and coaching, like maybe then you can do the car selfie. That'll work for you. But unless you're like, your brand is about being in your car, don't take a car selfie and use it as a professional shot. That's not sending the right message to your clients. That's definitely not getting you, the value. You're not communicating value. Let's just say that in a nutshell. So get rid of those car selfies, folks, and invest in a good photographer. You will not regret it. And along those lines, people are always asking me, like, what are my recommendations for having a great photo session? And, as a web designer, I would say, okay, a few best practices. Number one, you want to get landscape over portrait. Landscape photos are going to work so much more flexibly on the web. And a lot of times people will go to see like a headshot photographer, for example, and they'll just get all these tall shots, like close-up shots that it's hard to do anything with in the wide spaces that we're often designing in on the web. So you want to get wide shots and let your photographer know that you would love to have some photos with negative space. So, space on the side so you can put copies or someone, so that I can put copy there as your web designer, as well as stay away from those pose, like hand on shin photos. Those are out, guys. We don't need any of this. Like, hey, I'm a business owner. What's going on? No, don't need to do it. We want to stick to photos that are going to capture you in your element, photos that are going to capture your personality. And yes, we've all seen them, like the photos of people like mid-laugh, like, I love my life, and they can look staged, and that's why, a really fabulous photographer will know how to get you looking real and looking candid and looking vivacious and full of life. And for some people, the laughing photo might not be on brand, but generally I tend to prefer photos that show clients and my clients in movement, photos that show. And of course, right now I'm talking about brands that are going to be the personal brand, the service-based brand, for coaches or for one-on-one people who work one-on-one with their clients. And so of course, but photography is going to be important whether you're a service-based business owner and you're working one-on-one with your client, or if you run a restaurant, great, gorgeous, or if you run a hotel, or if you do, doggy daycare. It doesn't really matter what you do. Great photography is always going to serve you. Thanks, Tiffany. I appreciate that. Yeah. So great photography at the top of the list. You can't go wrong there. Invest. This is an investment you won't regret because you're going to be using these photos for years to come. And to take a look at some clients of mine that have done really well with photography, I'd recommend going to SashaAllenby.com, SashaAllenby.com. Check it out. One thing I love about her photography on her website is you've got that first kind of hero image of her when you land on that website, and she's engaging with the client. You can't see the client's face. It's just the back of the client's head. But what I love it is you can see her she's full of life. She's engaging with the client. You as the visitor can kind of imagine yourself in the client's shoes, like, oh, that could be me talking to Sasha as my ghostwriter, because Sasha's a ghostwriter, among other many things, joy innovator ghostwriter. So, and then when you scroll through the rest of the site, you'll see that Sasha's photos are just fantastic. They're not just of her being like, hi, welcome to me. They're of her in action. They're her, in a bookstore, her working with a client in Central Park. Oh gosh, wouldn't we all want to just meet with our copywriter in Central Park, have a cup of tea, enjoy ourselves? Oh gosh. Oh man. I'm fantasizing, even though Central Park's pretty cold right now. I'll just wait a couple months for that. But, so Sasha's site is a really great site. Another fantastic site, AndreaLambertLifeCoach.com. Oh my goodness. Speaking of New York, she's also got New York in the background of her photos. And, you know, she's kind of front and center, but she's got this gorgeous backdrop. You know, and Andrea Lambert is a coach, as you know, from the domain, AndreaLambertLifeCoach.com. And so she's a coach, and part of what coaches do is helping people work towards the lives they aspire to lead. And so to have this kind of gorgeous New York panorama in back of her also kind of sets that aspirational tone. Like, here, I'm going to help you live your best life. I'm going to help you, you know, surround yourself with beauty and all these great stuff. And so that's one of the reasons I love Andrea's photo. She's looking right at the camera, which is a little different than what Sasha's doing. She's looking right at the camera, looking right at you. She looks warm, inviting. She's looking professional. She's looking gorgeous, and her surroundings are gorgeous as well. So that's another one to check out. Third one I would check out would be paulzelizer.com. PaulZelizer.com. Whoa, that's a mouthful. And Paul also just has these fabulous photos. There's some photos of him in a colorful coffee shop, which kind of captures his fun, zany, weird, eccentric personality, which he's so well known for. You got some nice pops of color in the background. You got some bright green, some bright orange. And Paul's, you know, wearing a cool vest and some jeans. So he's not too stuffy. He's not like dressed in a three-piece suit being like, hello, well, let me be your business coach. You know, he's looking relatable, down to earth, like someone you would want to hang out with and spend time with. And you know, I get tons of compliments on Paul's site all the time. And I always want to be like, don't thank me, thank the photographer, because the photographer did so much of the work in Paul's site. I mean, she really set the tone with the incredible photos she captured. So those are 3 sites that I would recommend for an example of really stellar website photography. And when I get compliments on those sites, as I said, I feel like the compliment really should be for the photographer, not for me. Secrets of the trade, tricks of the trade you never knew. Okay, so that's number 1. That's the number 1 thing that if you don't spend money on anything else, get yourself some damn good photos. I mean, you know, you will thank me later. You will thank me later. Second to that, though, because it's a really close second. In fact, they're neck and neck. I don't know really even how I could choose between them. Is second thing you want to invest in before redesigning your website is going to be a copywriter. Yep. I mean, I got to tell you, you know, add this to the list of things that you don't expect a web designer to say. Design is important. It is, obviously. It's what I do. I love it. I really believe that fabulous, user-friendly design is paramount to my clients' online success. But that said, it's not the most important thing. The most important thing on a website is going to be the words, the copy, the content, the messaging. And, you know, I hear this all the time. Clients will come to me and they'll be like, I don't need a copywriter because I'm a writer. I write great stuff. I've written books. I write blog posts. I write poetry. I write music. I write all this different stuff. And I gotta tell you, and, you know, and I feel the same way. I myself am a writer. I enjoy writing articles. I enjoy writing short fiction. I enjoy writing plays. I enjoy writing a whole bunch of stuff. But I tell you what I don't enjoy writing, and that is copy, especially sales copy that's meant to, you know, lead my visitors towards an action of some sort, lead them, you know, into relationship with me or lead them towards a specific goal. And I gotta tell you, guys, that stuff is hard. That stuff is hard. That stuff deserves bringing in an expert. So I highly recommend working with a copywriter before you work with a web designer. If you can come into a web design relationship already having fantastic copy ready to go, you're going to speed up that process by months. Because the number 1 thing that I see slowing down a web design project, it can turn a website project that could have lasted 3 months into 12 months, is people not having their copy ready. Because people always come in the door, they're like, oh yeah, I'll be able to get my copy together, no problem, no big deal, whatever, we're cool, we're out. And then we do the process, and it's time for them to put together their copy, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, because copy's hard, guys. And by the time, typically we're in a process, by the time we get to copy, a client has realized, oh gosh, I needed my copy to do this, and this, and how do I do it? I don't know, and they're freaking out because they've got all this other stuff stuff they're doing and focusing on while in the rebrand, website design, kind of website positioning process, that copy really, not only is it not their strength, but it's really not worth their time. You know, they've got to focus on their brilliance work. They've got to focus on crafting the best possible products and services for their clients, serving their clients better. Kind of like what I talked about last week. You know, we get so distracted with all the marketing stuff that we're not focusing on what we do best. We're not focusing on serving our clients better. And that's why I say bring in a copywriter, bring in a professional. I mentioned Natalie Taylor before. Another fabulous copywriter that I recommend is Sarah Greer. She's amazing. And both of them have kind of different strengths. Natalie and Sarah they both do website copy, but they also are really skilled at doing copy around launches, at doing the copy that follows you off the website. Because yeah, a lot of people are focused on, okay, got to get my website copy done. But what about what happens once people leave? You know, maybe they've given you their newsletter, and maybe or it's not their newsletter. Maybe they've given you their email address, you know, and that's kind of where a lot of people stop thinking about the funnel. They're like, okay, people are going to come to my website. I'm going to get their email. I'm going to send them the free thing. And then, I don't know. And a great copywriter is going to help you craft the copy not only on the site, but what happens when they leave your site? And what happens after they engage with you? What happens after they give you the email? You know, I think it was Natalie actually who said to me once that your clients are never as excited, or your visitors, your website visitors, your leads, your prospects, whatever you want to call them, are never as excited about your brand as when they first sign up. When they first give you their email address, that's when they're like, yes, hey, tell me more. I'm excited. You know, so gotta take advantage of that moment, and that's why a great copywriter who can help you not only with your website copy, but also with the copy that happens after the website visit is just priceless, guys, priceless. And if I was going to, you know, they should do a MasterCard commercial about it, but not, because whatever, MasterCard, you don't need my ideas. Never mind. So yeah, that's my number 2 thing. Number 1 thing is photographer. Number 2 thing, copywriter. And these things, as I said, are neck and neck. I mean, I know I said you should, you know, the photographer comes first, but the truth is both of them are pretty valuable, as well as our third, number 3. The number 3 thing I recommend that you invest in before hiring a web designer like me would be a business coach or a digital strategist. And there, you know, here's the thing. There are so many courses out there and classes and programs and sales funnel this and do my thing and do this school and do this whatever. And I'm not, you know, those things are great. They can really enrich and bring a lot of value, but there is something really especially valuable about having one-on-one time with a strategist or with a business coach who you can, you know, talk to and is going to give you direct feedback. Because yeah, we can all read the same chapter of a book and kind of draw a different conclusion. We might all do, you know, the same course or program and still not get the, you know, specific feedback that we need to actually act upon the wisdom that we're learning, you know, in that moment. And that's why I really recommend having a business coach, a strategist to bounce ideas off of and to give you that one-on-one specific feedback. It's so funny because clients will come to me and they'll say, oh yeah, I got my funnel. I know my funnels. I know my products. I know my stuff. I got it. It's cool. I got it. And then as soon as I start asking them, okay, let's talk about your services. Let's talk about your offerings. Let's talk about your call to action. Let's talk about your funnel. Let's talk about how you're leading people into relationship with you. They're like, Facebook. Like they just lose it. They don't even, you know, it's all here in their mind, kind of jumbled up, you know, and they can't untie it, and so they just kind of get paralyzed, and that's what often, you know, also holds back a launch. That's what also holds back people's businesses, is they've thought through all this stuff in their head, they've got it all going on up here, but when it comes to actually the doing of it, then they get confused, and they're like, what? And that's what a business coach is going to help you, you know, sort through and get clarity on. And help you kind of talk it out loud, because you're going to have to be doing this over and over and over again. And if it's all here, messed up in the brain, and it's not out here, you know, that's going to hold you back. So I highly recommend having a session or two, or doing, a long-term coaching relationship with a business coach who's going to help you get really clear on, your positioning, your funnel, your, how you lead clients into deeper engagement with you, and hopefully going to hold you accountable to actually getting that out of your head and getting it out verbally as well as on paper. Commit that stuff to paper. I'm all about it. I'm all about the business plan. I'm all about it. And you can learn a little bit more about how I feel about business planning and preparing yourself for online success at don'thireawebdesigner.com. Yet again, I know I'm working against my own best interest, but not really, because there's nothing that frustrates me more than when I see clients dumping a bunch of money into something they think is going to help push them forward, like, for example, a big fancy website, before they've invested in all the things that I just mentioned. And they do that. They get this big fancy website, and they, without a copywriter, without great photos, without guidance from a business coach, and it flops. So the 3 things that I've recommended to you today, again, photographer, copywriter, business coach, boom! Those 3 things are going to massively help your website to be more effective for you. That's just what it all comes down to, folks. So let me know if you have any questions or comments in the comments later, and I'll be back next Wednesday, it seems. This is our time. I'm enjoying it. Until next time.